In this excerpt from Office Hours, I'm answering a question about how do you know a dream that you're having is actually direction from God? All right, so take a listen to my answer. I've had directional dreams before, two major times in my life. Directional dreams are usually dreams, from my perspective, they don't leave you, like you can't shake the feeling. They're very
Right.
directional, right? My first dream, when I say dream, let's mix this in with dreams and vision, right? It kind of like sometimes I'm asleep, sometimes I'm awake, right? When I'm awake, we call it a vision. When I'm asleep, we
Right.
call it a dream, right? All right.
Hmm.
So I was awake and I had this strong vision that my wife will be my wife. It was strong, right? And we already knew each other. So it was not like it was some random person, right? But I had never considered
Right.
it, right? So I never had even thought about it. I was a volunteer in children's ministry. She was a children's leader. So in the 90s, the way we saw ministers, they was like the super friends and the heroes. We were like just the regular people. So we didn't associate with them, right? Right. So that was weird in itself. It's almost like Peter having a vision, like eat and kill, right? It's like, I'm not going to do that. That's like that they're their own class of people. We're just a congregation.
Right.
But I had the vision. It didn't leave me, and so it kind of kept coming back, and so what I did to test the vision was I invited April out on a outing with me. Some of my friends were coming in from town, and she knew some of the guys there. So I invited her to come out with me to this event, right? And this is my first time inviting her to come somewhere outside of church, right? And so it was like a
Right.
test, like, okay, all right, God, if you're saying she's the one, let me see how she responds to an invitation to come do something. And so she
Mhm.
immediately said yes to the invitation. We had had a good time with the guys. So it's like me kind of doing little tests, right? And then once that test was passed, then it was like God gave me more instructions. Okay, now I want you to directly approach her and say, I want to date you with the purpose of marriage. And he gave me the exact words to say. And so when I said those words to April, she told me that she needed to hear it that exact way. Because if I had said it any other way, she wouldn't have accepted it. So it was a vision that never left me. I tested it out at different spots, and it was like more like me and God working together, trying to
Mhm.
really manifest that thing. So on April's side, what I didn't know until I don't know when I knew this. Maybe I knew this after that first year of dating or so. But on her side of the equation, God was talking to her about me. Now, what's interesting about April always wanted to marry a light skinned guy with green eyes, right? So, and I'm not that, right? So about 6 months before I actually talked to her, God started talking to her like, hey, does he actually got to be light skinned with green eyes? Right.
Oh
Like
wow.
asking her the question, like, can we make some adjustment to this list you got here? And so she started
Mhm.
making the adjustments to the list. And then she said, there were certain things I started to do that she started to notice me. Now I'm oblivious to all this, right? I'm not even in this. And
Right.
so, so then she also described there was a particular event at church that for some reason she felt like if I'm not at this event, she's not even going to be thinking about me anymore. And so I wasn't going to go to this event at all, right? In my mind, this is an event I never go to at our church, and I'm not about to start to now. But it was the morning of, I was in my hometown of Augusta, which is like 2 hours away from Atlanta, right? So literally that morning, God was like, you need to get back to Atlanta. I was like, well, I got to go back to Atlanta. I'm here with my family. I spend New Year's Eve every year with my family, right? But I had this strong urge, like, Amos, you got to go back to Atlanta today. Oh, like, okay. So I got in the car, I drove back to Atlanta, and I went to the event. And then April, in hindsight, she tells me that when I walked in, she's like, her heart just leaped, like he's here. So like I didn't know this was going on her side of the equation at all, right? And so it was almost like God was talking to both of us, right, differently at the same time. So it kind of helped confirmed it when we kind of came together. And so usually with a
Yeah.
vision for God, it's kind of like it's confirmed. The second one was Church for Entrepreneurs. It was a dream in the middle of the night. I just woke up in the middle of the night and God was like, it was like Church for Entrepreneurs was the name. I've never
Mhm.
heard those two terms put together ever in life. It was very specific, like church for entrepreneurs, not church of entrepreneurs, but church for entrepreneurs. It was very specific. And so I woke up, I mean, let's say 3 o'clock in the morning, right? Something like that, right? And I checked my domain servers where I usually buy domains at, and then domain exists, right? Because that's usually what I do to have I check domain names, right? And so since the main name exists, I went ahead and bought it that morning in the middle of the night, churchforentrepreneurs.com, right? And then I just sat on it for a couple months, right? Not doing anything. I talked to people about it. Hey, I think God's saying church for entrepreneurs. What do you think about it? Because at this point, I've been to ministry school, but I've not actually stepped into ministry. So it's literally like God's called me into ministry where all my life I've been in business, right? I've been a Christian I've been a believer that likes the Bible, but I'm not in ministry yet, right? I'm just a believer who likes the Bible, right? And so it was a big deal. This was different than any other idea I ever had, right? It's like, oh, wow. So I'm literally going to ministry. And so it took me a while to process that dream. But the key part is that it wouldn't go away, right? It kept coming back. Church for Entrepreneurs. It's a podcast every day, and God kind of gave me more and more details over that next 6 months about what this thing's supposed to look like in the early days. So all that to say is like when you have a vision or a dream, like it doesn't leave you, and then God start giving some clarifying details over time. Hey guys, I pray that this excerpt from Office Hours was a blessing to you. If you would like to attend live, go to churchforentrepreneurs.com, click on the calendar link, and RSVP for our next Office Hours. If you'd like to partner with CFE, go to churchforentrepreneurs.com/partner. And don't forget, tell a friend about this podcast and also tell a friend about Church for Entrepreneurs. You guys be blessed, and I'll talk to you soon.